Daughters of Iblis, the night of true horror. Everything started when Omar, a 27-year-old investigative journalist, decided to dig into a subject no one dared to speak about, the Daughters of Iblis. Omar had always been fascinated by dark and mysterious stories, but this time was different. This wasn't just another urban legend or a spooky tale whispered in cafes. People had disappeared, people had died in strange and gruesome ways, and all of them had one thing in common: the Daughters of Iblis, the first thread from hell. It all began when one of Omar's friends, Nagla, suddenly vanished. The last time he saw her was the night before, and she had told him in a trembling voice, "Omar, if anything happens to me, don't look for me, stay away, those girls aren't human." Her words were strange, but Omar didn't take them seriously until he realized that Nagla had literally disappeared. Her house was locked. There was no trace of her, and the worst part? No one even remembered she existed. Even her own family swore they had never had a daughter named Nagla. That was when the fear started creeping into Omar's heart. He had to find out who were the Daughters of Iblis. A meeting with hell. During his investigation, Omar was led to a place no one dared to go, an ancient cemetery on the outskirts of Cairo. People whispered that it was cursed, that anyone who entered either lost their mind or never returned. But Omar couldn't resist the temptation. He stepped inside. The moment he crossed the threshold, he felt it. Something was wrong. The air was heavy, thick with an unexplainable, foul scent, and it felt as if someone was breathing beside him, but there was no one there. Then suddenly, he heard a laugh, a girl's laugh. It sounded playful, innocent even, but something was off, deeply wrong. He turned his head sharply and saw her, a little girl, standing in the darkness. Her eyes were wide and pitch black, unblinking, and she wasn't smiling. Before he could say a word, another sound came, whispers. They came from everywhere, surrounding him, whispering in his ears, crawling under his skin, saying, "You came looking for us, now there is no way back." Omar's breath was heavy, his body frozen in place. His mind screamed, "Run, run," but his legs refused to move. It felt like invisible chains were holding him down. The three girls stood before him, their faces hidden in the dim, eerie light of the crypt. The one in the middle, the mummified-looking girl, took a slow step closer. Her face was now just inches from his. Her pitch-black eyes gleamed ominously. "You're not leaving? Not yet." Her voice was deep, layered, as if multiple voices were speaking at once. Suddenly, Omar felt something ice-cold brush against his hand. He jerked his head down. A monstrous hand, long bony fingers with sharp claws, tracing a strange symbol on his skin. The moment the symbol was etched onto his flesh, a searing pain shot through his body. It burned. It felt like fire was raging inside him. Omar collapsed to his knees, clutching his hand in agony. He screamed. Then, as quickly as it appeared, the pain was gone. He looked at his palm. The symbol had vanished. The curse of the Daughters of Iblis. A soft chuckle echoed through the crypt. The tall girl standing in the shadows finally spoke. "Now you are one of us. You will see what no man should see. You will hear what your ears are not ready to hear." Suddenly, the entire crypt trembled. The carvings on the walls glowed brighter, pulsating like veins. The stone floor cracked, releasing a thick black mist that slithered through the air like living shadows. Omar panicked. He forced himself to stand, heart pounding, and ran toward the exit. But the door was gone. No escape. Impossible. But the impossible was happening. Whispers from hell. Then, the voices started. They came from the walls, the ceiling, the ground. Screaming, crying, whispering. And among the voices, one made Omar's blood freeze. "Omar, Omar, get me out of here." Nagla. His heart stopped. Was she still alive? Was she trapped here? Or was this just another trick? Before he could react, everything blurred. The crypt, the girls, the symbols, all disappeared, waking into a nightmare. Omar gasped and opened his eyes. He was in his bedroom, on his bed. A dream? He let out a shaky breath. But when he looked down at his hand, the symbol was still there, glowing, red, faintly pulsing. And then, a whisper slithered into his ear. "We're still here, Omar, and the worst is yet to come." To be continued.